The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 11, Dead or Alive or. So this episode, I'd say, was actually pretty entertaining. We got to see some fairly decent storylines. The Gabriel stuff was actually interesting. It was way more entertaining than I expected it to be, with them kind of going through this process, Gabriel in the dock, and it's like, you know, Gabriel, of course, letting faith decide, letting God kind of guide his path, and they come across this, random place where this guy used to have like a radio and stuff to try to help people, and they seem to continuously have better and better luck. Like, it was like, all right, well, this happened, and, they find this random house, and then they end up finding random drugs because, they go and they're, sitting in the room, and then as Gabriel's talking, because his eyes are all messed up, he knocks something over by accident, and then they find keys in the map, so it's like, oh, everything's kind of going our way, so let's get the heck out of here. Then things start to, pull back just a little bit. Like, they had their moment where it's like, oh man, I'm in danger. The doc ends up stepping on a bear trap, and Gabriel's able to actually save his life, and he's looking, he can't really see, and then he just closes his eyes and he shoots. He kills the zombie, and it's like, okay, things are kind of going well. That was a crappy little moment, but it's fine. We got to the car. Then the saviors come along. They, pick him up, and they're trying to take him back, and the doc starts to believe, in this faith. It's like, I think I, see the way, because the guy's kind of leaning over, he can pull the gun, and he pulls the gun, and they instantly just shoot him right in the chest, and he's dead. And it was just like, well, crap. All this time, all the little things that they went through, all these random convenient things, and then he's just dead. And Gabriel's, just there, his eyes are, just all messed up, and they just pull his body out of the truck, and it's like, all right, well, let's get him back. And then Gabriel's just stuck, and it was like, well, that really sucks. That was kind of a depressing little end to like all the good moments that they had. And then he's thrown back, and he's at the shop with Eugene sorting out the bullets and stuff. So definitely interesting storyline there. And then of course we have the Alexandria group. They're all kind of shifting through the swamps and everything. So that was pretty cool, watching how the characters were kind of dealing with the fact that they had Dwight, and especially Tara having to deal with the fact that this is the guy that killed my girlfriend. So that was definitely interesting, and she chased him down and everything, and then they run into some of the other saviors, and he goes out, and it's like, no need to go to the swamp. He actually helps all those people, and we find out that the woman that knows that he betrayed them hasn't made it back yet. So odds are she's still alive, because that's just good tension and drama, where it's like, he betrayed us, and that's how it works. But he made it back. He, by the end of the episode, he is back, with the saviors and everything. So he's kind of in the clear for now. But I thought that was a pretty good scene where Terry's like chasing him down, and she was just like, I just don't care. I just want you dead. So that was a pretty cool scene. And Rosita, kind of doing her thing. It was like, I saw you chase after him, so I followed. And it was like, I didn't stop you because no one could have stopped me. It was just like, you needed to kind of do what you felt like you needed to do, and that's all there was to it. So she kind of just rolls with the punches, which I like about Rosita sometimes. Sometimes she just gets like, super mad about stuff, and kind of what happened before. So sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. But I thought that was cool. And then of course they eventually end up making it to the hilltop, and that's when they have some of our other characters kind of waiting on their return. It's like, oh, everybody's finally here, and then that's when they get the story. They found out that Carl actually died. So definitely, dramatic moment there, and that kind of led Morgan to tell the young boy, like, you killed the person that actually ended up killing your brother. So kind of deal with that as you will, but you've actually settled, kind of that bit of revenge there. So now you know. But I thought it was cool. And then, of course, at the end of the episode, they kind of got to the part that I was waiting for from the comics, which was Negan talking to his people, like, hey, check this out. If we just happen to put our weapons on the zombies, like, we twist Lucille around and stuff like that, she doesn't have to swing away. That's just a little scratch. And so that's kind of what they're going into, and it should be really interesting, because I know we're close, because obviously this is the second half of the season, but I'm like, I don't know if we're that close to the end of the season based off of the comics and what it seems like they're leading up to in this next episode. I'm like, I feel like they're basically at the end based on what I'm thinking of, but they kind of switch stuff around, and they might just make kind of like two big battles. But I was like, that's kind of like some, that's kind of like the end type stuff. But we do also have the leap forward, so maybe we'll get a couple of episodes of them going, doing like the big time skip. So who knows? It could be, this whole Negan arc could actually be ending a couple episodes before the actual season ends. I don't know if they're really going to do that in the next episode, especially considering they have some kind of loose ends, considering they have characters like Simon. As far as I remember, he's not in the comics at all, but even if he is, he does not nearly play as big of a role as he does in this series. So, they got some stuff going on there, and what Negan's gonna find out about, like the trash people. Um, so they still got some big storylines going on there, and I got some suspicions on how that's gonna ultimately end up playing out. By the end of the season, but of course, I'll just kind of wait and see. And some of the stuff is like spoiler based, so I can't really talk about it. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode. However, this should play out, I think will be interesting. We got a little bit of stuff with Maggie in this episode too, with her, at the hilltop and going through the process of, like rations and still feeding rations to the prisoners, but much less rations and forcing them to help out and stuff like that. So, I thought that was cool, just a little bit of focus to kind of see what's going on there. But all in all, I actually thought it was a fairly decent episode, and then it ends with Rick and Michonne showing up, or at least they say like, "Oh, Rick's here," but it's Rick. It's always just gonna be Rick, and then it's like Rick's here, and them too. But it ends with Rick showing up, so everybody's gonna be back together for the most part, at least, kind of in tip-top shape. So everyone's pretty much back together at this point, and then we kind of just see where it goes from there. Because with everybody together, it's kind of the perfect time for the next episode to just be the crazy all-out war episode, which, like I said, it seems like that's what they're teasing, but it's not going to be, I don't think at least, it's going to be the exact moment from the comics. It's going to have some of that in there, but I don't think it'll have the same ending as it does in the comics, because that's like the end of that battle in the comic book, so I don't think that's where we're headed just yet. But either way, I'm excited. Some crazy actions would be entertaining in general. Seeing what in the world's gonna happen with Eugene. That's another thing from the comics that doesn't happen. Like, he's not with the Saviors for like any amount of time. It's not like that in the comics. So I am curious how that's gonna end up playing out. And the stuff with Gabriel, who I think is dead at this point in the comics. I can't remember. So many people die in the comics. It's hard to keep up with who's dead in the comics but alive in the show, or vice versa. The only thing I remember is I can't even think of her name. The woman that died a long time, Andrea. She's alive. At least as far as where I am, she's alive in the comics. So it's like, that's like the one thing. Like, how they have Michonne, that's basically Andrea's position in the comic book. She's the one with Rick. So huge difference there for people who don't read the comics. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the show. Curious how this next episode really is going to end up playing out. But of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And with us going into this really big battle, seemingly at least going into this big battle for the next episode, I would love to know your predictions on how that's going to play out. Personally, at this point, I don't think they're going to kill anybody that we would actually care about. Like, they've already done it. They killed off Carl. Like, once you hit that point, it's like, all right, well, that was big enough. But obviously, with the way things kind of kicked off this season, and the last season and this season, things have been pretty nuts. In the past 2 seasons, as far as like big character deaths, they've killed off some really big some big names from the show. So I don't think we're gonna be losing anybody else. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're gonna do that again. But it would be interesting just to see how all this stuff is gonna play out. They've even they've kind of already gone through the process of some of the minor characters as well, which was just like the comics. So I think they kind of hit that point already, and it really seems like we're going into that final battle. But it also seems like it's too early. But I know, at least I believe, Fear the Walking Dead does come back, I think, in April. So we might only have like 4 episodes, not even 4 episodes left of The Walking Dead. So we probably are closer than I'm thinking. But like I said, would love to know your predictions on how that's going to play out, whether you're a comic reader or not. They already have. They already did the flash forward where Negan was with everybody, so I would love to know how you guys think that's gonna come to fruition. I'd say, and I mentioned before, I hope it's not exactly the same as it was in the comics, but I feel like it's gonna be, based on what they've shown already. I was like, I feel like it's gonna be exactly what it was in the comics, which just really made me mad, just how it played out. So if that does happen, I'll definitely be talking about that and just why I hated it so much. But like I said, I want to know your predictions on how the battle's going to take place, or how it's going to play out, I should say, in the next episode. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below. Excuse me. Let me know. And thanks for watching.